everything in between. This is Insider MTB, the podcast that takes you behind the handlebars, into the dirt, and behind the scenes of the mountain biking world. And now your host, Austin White.
Spencer always laughs at the beginning of that. He's just never gonna let me live that one down. Just for reference, everyone, Spencer does hate the intro that I have made there. Professionally tailored, worked my ass off to get done. And yeah, he just rips it apart every time for me.
The podcast.
Just stop it. All right. You guys, I'm Austin White. This is Spencer Rathkamp. You all love him. We know it. And we're joined today, and usually we don't start with a guest right at the beginning, but we're going to just bust this one out with the guest right at the start, Georgia Astle. And did I butcher the last name on that, or did I landed it?
No, you did great. You did great. Stuck the landing.
All right, that's a first right there. You heard it. You guys all heard that right there. What's the best title for you? Like Women Shredding Ripper, or like what could we label it as?
That was pretty good. Women Shredding Ripper.
Yeah, you could go with that. I would say I'd identify as a freeride mountain biker these days.
Okay.
And
but like
I've been through the racing phase, so now I've graduated, and now that I'm in Rampage, I'm a free rider.
Free.
Yeah, I've earned my title.
Yeah, seriously. But why did you go to that? Like, I'm serious on this note of it. Like, it kind of looks sketchy as fuck to watch.
We're getting right into
I mean, seriously though, like that's gnarly. Like, I don't
intro.
desire to ride those trails. Like, let me be real with you on that. So, why that?
Well, the best part about it is you build your own trail. You build your own line. So a lot of creativity. So it's like the creative side meets the gnarly bit. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can build your own line, but also no matter what, it's going to be gnarly because Virgin Utah is pretty gnarly terrain. Honestly, I think this is where I was destined to be, and it just took me a little bit to get here finally.
Okay. That's a good answer. I'll go with that.
Spoken like a true professional.
Yeah. I wouldn't even imagine writing it. So, kudos to you. I would definitely be sticking to the easier stuff for me. My tricks I don't have any tricks on a bike. So, yeah, I think that's pretty gnarly. Like, mad respect for anyone that does Rampage. Mad respect to you to change from racing to that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm stoked about it. It's been a fun transition.
So wait,
go.
I want to just rewind here. Welcome to our little podcast. Thanks for joining us. We didn't really do much of an intro, but yeah, I've known you for a while, in and out, mostly on Instagram and a little bit here and there on other places. Who are you? Where are you from? Like, what's going on here? Start us off with a little bit of background information, because you just met Austin a couple minutes ago, and I don't know, share a little bit of your story if you're cool with it.
For sure. Yeah, I live in Whistler. I grew up here, so my parents are still based in Whistler. They're full ski bums that introduced me to like a pretty sick multi-sport lifestyle. So I actually grew up not as much time spent on the bike. Like, I spent a lot of time playing around, hucking off curbs, but I wasn't really into mountain biking until later on. So fast forward, high school mountain bike club, I got to basically skip school and go to the cross country mountain bike races, like in the district. And then I literally didn't even go into the bike park until my grade 12 year, or the summer before maybe. So, and that's straight up when I found the bike park. That was when the gates were open, and I started racing downhill and enduro. Did quite a lot of privateering. I think, Spencer, actually we met in my enduro phase in Rotorua.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, so I did quite a lot of time just working full-time, balancing the race life, and loved it. Loved every minute of it, because it was just so much time spent on the bike and weekends away. and I love just traveling to go biking. That's my favorite thing. And then it was probably like just around COVID time when we had the summer series. So biking and races were shut down, but we were super fortunate in British Columbia. We had, because Crankworx is based in Whistler, and they did like a little summer camp where there was something like 21 of us. And for 3 weeks, we had 3 different venues, and it was just like a Crankworx summer camp. And I linked up with Casey Brown and got really close with Michaela that summer, and that's when I was kind of introduced to the free riding thing. So
Yeah, sick.
Sorry, go ahead.
That was pretty cool. I mean, it was kind of tough to watch as a bit of a spectator, the Crankworx Summer Series, but it seemed like super cool because, like you said, it was 20 people or however many, and you guys basically everyone just raced everything. Like it seemed like you were doing downhill, slalom, whatever, slopes, speed, and dual speed and style, and everyone just kind of raced everything, and it kind of made this pretty unique Crankworx series. And I feel like that kind of gave some new people, maybe even you, sorry if I'm not giving you full credit where it's due, but like that gave you a different platform for you. It seemed like you started to really gain traction and gain popularity, if you will, from something like that, because you were shown in more ways than just being a downhill racer, or enduro racer, which is great, but being pack filler or towards the not the front is a little tougher to do all the time to get a bunch of attention.
Yeah, and I made some really good relationships. Like that's when I got really close with a bunch of the girls, and honestly, I feel like it was such good timing to be under like Casey Brown's wing, and we became really close. And then that summer is when we first hung out and did like a little video series together called the Back 40. And then that's when I was like, whoa, Freeride, I like this.
And
were
now,
you chasing some EWSs, or was it like the Crankworx series?
No, I did I actually did my very first EWS before I did any downhill racing in 2014. Had a big hiatus. I did a lot of privateer racing, so I'd pick and choose like 2 or 3 World Cups, maybe a World Champs, and then a couple EWSs as well. So then after summer series, I think I did another couple of years racing with DaVinci Global for EWS, but I was already kind of phased out of downhill at that point, like burnt out of just spending all my savings on going to Europe and getting a flat or crashing out or something. I found enduros were a little bit easier as a privateer, a little more bang for your buck.
What was paying the
That's
bills
pretty
at that
wild.
time? What was the full-time job?
I had many full-time jobs. During the winter, I would juggle like 3 jobs. I'd be in a cafe full-time. I was a indoor spin class instructor, doing some mountain bike coaching. I did like retail of some sort. There was some food delivery and cleaning, cash jobs in there, but usually like I had a really sick cafe. Everyone in Whistler goes to it. I worked at the Lift for nearly 7 years.
Yeah.
And it was great.
I heard
my boss. Yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry. Like most of the people that live in Whistler don't work in like they're imports from, like other countries because they get visa better and they work cheaper or something most of the time. But you're
Well, I mean, that's the Whistler allure. It's like ski town, and now the bike park draws in so many different people. But growing up, it's like the Aussie and UK town. Now it's like very diverse. There's people from all over. But yeah, that's why it's kind of sick that my parents have been here since the 90s and pretty small town growing up, but it's changed a lot since the Olympics.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. That's awesome though. That's super cool. So when you were a spin instructor, how down and dirty were we getting? Were we just cranking, or did we have the
bringing your
music
tracks in
bumping
and everything?
No, it was not disco spin. It's like a really cool training studio, and a lot of people who do endurance stuff would come in, and it was like trained with Olympians like Leslie Tomlinson and Chrissy
Okay.
Duval, who are like ex cross
Okay.
country World Cup. They was like very curated, and the workouts were intense. So it was like the instructors and myself when I moved from like cleaning the bikes and manning the studio to like being an instructor. And it was so funny. I started when I was 16 and I was pretty shy, a little timid, and I'd go around and fill up people's water bottles and clean up like their piles of sweat and just see the instructors like on the bike just like dying and like grunting, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be me one day. Like, it's probably good. Get me out of my shell a bit.
I wanted to see the Georgia Astle spin videos with you bumping music, lifting weights while you're spinning. Just come on, everybody, end up.
No.
That's
But
awesome.
they are really good workouts. Yeah, they're
100%.
yeah. It
Okay.
was fun. So
Yeah,
that was a fun phase. So I did that during the winters, and then in the summer I would usually be at the cafe, depending on if I was going to Europe or not. When I was racing locally, I would be at the cafe 5 days a week or do 4 10-hour shifts and then have weekends off and do the BC or Canada Cup and then go
Damn,
back to work.
sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So then
Hard-
how did
hard
you
work.
land at the DaVinci Global team? Like, that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I did. So my last season racing World Cups properly was 2016, and I had some really good results, but I ended up moving to Australia for our winter there summer and ended up just not really riding that much. Kind of hit a weird age where I was like I needed to be full on or I was kind of phasing out. Came back that
Yeah.
summer and had concussion after concussion, just all these weird crashes, and pulled back. I completely was like, you know what, this isn't worth it. I do not have the money after going to Australia. So ended up not racing for a whole summer, 2017. And then following year, 2018, I got a downhill bike through Chris and Claire. And I was on like the Coveric Racing junior team. And 2 weeks before Crankworx was like, I'm going to race again. Like, I miss it. Rocked up to Crankworx. And I ended up, that was the year that I won Garbo DH. And then
way.
after that, yeah, it was crazy. So I was still riding my bike lots, but I just wasn't really racing and fully pulled back for a year. And then after that season, DaVinci hit me up and was like, hey, like, we want you to come back to racing. Like, we'll give you 2 frames and we want you on like an ambassador grassroots program. And I was like, well, all right. So that was 2018. I guess 2019 was my first year with DaVinci. And then, so I've been with them ever since. Just kind of moved up the ranks until I was on the global team.
That's awesome. That had to have been.
Wow.
I rode for DaVinci for a year, and Austin and I did the Troy launch
Was it
video
Troy?
when they brought the Troy
No way.
back, or the 29er.
That was
video.
2019
So,
or 18. Yeah.
yeah. Austin knows all those guys, or well, who was there at least.
I don't know.
At
I don't
that
think
time.
any of them are there anymore.
Bastion is-
Bastion's still there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the one.
yeah.
He's the one that hit me up because Bastion was racing like the Canadian whole round of downhill, and yeah, he's like, well, like you're pretty good at downhill racing still. Like you should probably keep racing.
Yeah. Sick. Oh, he's an awesome guy. But that's awesome. Small.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird.
Small
Spencer
world.
didn't get that same phone call. He obviously wasn't. You know, your teammate here, your old teammate. You know, step his game up a little bit more. You know,
Damn.
just send it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right.
It wasn't your
Really
time.
No
mind.
pressure. Oh wow, I
Spread
love
your
it.
wings.
You're
somewhere else.
awesome. You could come back if you keep talking like that. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone that gives Spencer shit, I'm in for that. I'm in.
I get plenty
Yeah.
of it, but
So I
can
mean,
take
they're a Canadian brand, and you're from Canada, so that's kind of cool. Like a little bit of a relationship. Does that help? I mean, I French Canadian, but yeah.
Still,
Yeah,
It's still
I
Canadian.
really like it. I really like it because the Canadian roots thing does feel cool. I mean, yeah, they are a 6-hour flight away. Because Canada, like the States, is huge. But no, I really enjoy that part, and I think it's rad. They started doing a North American push, so even though it is super far away. It does feel a little bit more on the same wavelength than a European brand.
Yeah, for sure. But now you're not on the factory racing team. Now you've kind of graduated. Are you back on your own program?
No,
where it's
we're
not
on. We have a Freeride team.
Oh,
Really?
I guess I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Do tell.
Wow.
Steve Vanderhoek, Johan Borelli, myself, and Jack Pelland were the Movement Freeride team.
The movement.
Okay, cool.
Movement.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I
Okay.
didn't even.
So-
I had no idea that they had a free ride team.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, we all do very much our own things. Jack still actually races mostly downhill. Johan and Steve are more so on the video side. I mean, Steve works full time as a firefighter, and yeah, they're just like doing amazing video parts.
Yeah, still
And then
sick
I'm
rider. Yeah.
doing whatever I'm doing.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's why it's more of a collective.
Okay.
And is there any other ties that are the same other than the frame, or are you guys? Do you have your own freedom to get other sponsors and stuff?
Sort of like we all kind of have our own clothing, and then our ties are Marzocchi, Ride Concept, Abus, Race Face, and the guys are on Fox for suspension. So like mostly the same stuff. Like Race Face is our big tie-in, and
Cool.
Maxxis tires.
Yeah, awesome. And now you're doing stuff with Outdoor Research,
Yeah.
which they're new to the gear space. I only know of like you and one other person, at least off the top of my head, that's wearing their gear. Are you working pretty closely with them to like help develop and work through new things?
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause
they
they're
have
fresh.
they have a really rad design team, and they're fully based in Seattle. So it was rad. They invited all of us down there, and we got to see the design space. And right away, they already had most of the plans set, but they came in, they had an empty whiteboard, and it was like the 4 riders and then a bunch of other like pink bike testers, vital people. And they were like, okay, give us all your feedback and tell me like what you'd like to see in your favorite kit, what materials you love, what you don't love. And we filled up this huge like classroom size whiteboard, and they were so open to feedback, and they're stoked about it. So that was really cool because that's never happened for me and a brand.
Yeah, that's sick. It's cool. It's cool for brands to really just involve their athletes in things. Like it's great and all to receive a bunch of gear and a check or whatever, but at the same time, when you feel like you are playing a part in helping move a company forward or having your input be put into something else, I think that athletes and riders and stuff can be more prideful when carrying and representing a brand. So that's cool. It's great to hear that they're doing stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's really rad for me because I am doing a little bit of the adventure mountain biking side too, and I've never had the right gear for it. I've always been like, well, I could bring this meshy jersey that looks good in the photos, but it's completely not the right fabric for what I'm doing. And now having Outdoor Research, it's like I have so much gear to choose from of like they have everything. Ski stuff, rain stuff, they have merino fabrics,
Well,
they have
maybe
they have
South
it all.
Africans just don't ride in adventure stuff, I don't know,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's like
Shots
brands that come
fired.
from the moto side, and then
Yeah.
there's
Well, what are you going to do for
brands that
moto
come-
gear now?
yeah.
I mean, I see you ride the Husky, as a 250 2-stroke, so you get it. You're a dual sport girl. I get it. I like it. But I mean, now what are
Yeah.
you going to do for gear?
Well,
You're just-
luckily I still have my good
Some
old
stuff.
South African moto gear, so we'll
Oh.
keep that. We'll keep that.
Damn. Oh, wow. Maybe people will figure it out. I don't know. There's a lot of moto brands from there. You never know.
Austin
Yeah.
Austin is very close with
Yeah, I do stuff with them.
your South African buddies.
Yeah,
But
no, they're rad,
it's-
and
Yeah,
yeah, they're all rad. It's just cool, I guess,
I know.
getting a fresh look into a new brand and being in the development phases with them.
For sure.
No,
Yeah.
that plays
No.
a huge part. I think, and that's cool, and it's good to hear that brands are doing that. I know Rafa does that a bunch. Sorry, not Rafa. Patagonia does that a bunch with their riders and allow them to kind of have a say in what's going on and what they want to see from the company. And Yeah.
Oh, the kits look clean. Like, they're sick what you're wearing, at least in the Instagram stuff, right? Yeah.
So who's
in real life
the
too.
3 teammates?
Yeah, probably.
So
The teammates.
myself, Bass Van Themerian, Tom Van Themerian, and Damon Iwanaga. So Damon was first. He was
Yeah, I know
there
Damon.
before there
That's
was
what
even
I-
mountain bike stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
And then Bass, Tom, and I all got scooped up kind of around the same time last year.
Sick. Cheers to the scoop. That's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so I know we were trying to figure out how to approach this the best. The Red Bull Rampage, you're invited, but I just want to back up. I guess I got told that last year there was like you guys aren't going on stage to ride. Were you part of that situation and everything?
So it was it was like a weird, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that happened there. We had
with Formation.
yeah,
for the
yeah,
people
exactly.
that are
So
listening.
Formation existed for 3 years, and after the last year, it was like really, really cool how all the lines turned out. I got to ride at Formation the second year, or I guess it was the third year, 2022, and we were riding Rampage lines, and there was so much hype. We were so excited, and it felt like we were on a really good trajectory to having either an invite to Rampage or Formation growing in some sort of way to keep as like a development platform. And then it kind of went to crickets for 2023. Didn't really hear much. And I think that there was just a lot of behind the scenes logistics that needed to happen. Obviously for Rampage, it's a huge event, so much money.
Yeah.
And getting 8 other riders involved is massive. So unfortunately, it was like the same timing as when Formation got kind of cut. It never worked out for the girls to be in Rampage. So it was like a really sad dead space where we were like, we're ready, we're so keen, we're building, and then nothing. But luckily, I mean, a year off isn't the worst. Because then all of a sudden, here we are, 2024. We all got the call in June that we were going to be able to apply for Rampage. And a lot of the girls, like, we were all at this event in the UK. And so applications were due by pretty much August 20th, I think. And at that point, it was the start of June. A lot of us were in Europe for a whole month with no time or no ability to, like, film something new. Because normally for Rampage applications, you'd go out and get a bunch of Freeride.
I didn't know that you had to apply to it. I thought it was I thought it was an invitation only.
Yeah. So just like the guys, you apply, you write basically a paragraph, you get some like references of riders who have been in Rampage or whoever to be like, yeah, they're good, they're sound.
Interesting.
And then you have to do you have to film something and send it as well.
Well, that's the thing. Normally, a lot of these really sick edits, like you'll see guys put up stuff kind of around springtime, and it's usually they're like, I want to get into Rampage edit.
Okay.
And so all the girls, it was pretty last minute, so none of us really had time to do a full new upload. So a lot of us just put together like a mashup clip reel, and then which was, I think that was good enough. They already probably knew who was going to go based off of Formation, and just they know all the girls who are riding and applying. But it definitely keeps the door open for in the future years when there's going to be a lot more girls applying. It's not going to be the girls that they know. There could be someone else who just shows up and all of a sudden blows the doors off. Gets in Rampage.
That email address to apply is just redbullrampage@redbull.com. So just everyone else go right ahead. Go for it.
We'll put it in the comments.
Yeah, we'll put it in the comments. That's gnarly. I had no idea that's how the process worked. I figured it was just purely invitational, and on the sense of
me too.
Because it's gnarly. Like I didn't. People were really fully applying to go out there.
I mean, you apply, but it really is a selection process. They have their ideas of who's going to go in, and you kind of do have to earn your spot. That's kind of how how it went for formation too. The first year that I went, I was Casey's digger and was like really, really hoping to be riding the next year. And it was super last minute when I got the invite to formation. So kind of a similar thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean there's got to be some politics that go into it. It's a event that though Red Bull isn't necessarily making a ton of money, right? Like during the event, they're clearly looking to get as much eyeballs on the event as possible, and having the right people and the most popular people in the event plays a big role in that. So if even if like the best rider might not be have the biggest following or whatever it is, they probably are pushed slightly down the totem pole, unfortunately, if there's somebody that wants to be there and might be a little less talented or something. But it's interesting. I had no idea that there was a full application process. I thought it was like, all right, who are the top Red Bull riders that want to go here? They're getting first on the list. Obviously, the other guys that are, we're going to prioritize our own riders, and then
How many? Do they have an X amount that they select? Is it because you said 8 for the women's? Is the men only 8 as well?
No, the men I think are, I might be getting this wrong, but I think it's 12 or 14. So it's the top 8 from the previous year are automatically selected, and then there's X amount of wild cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then for what's it called? Reserve riders? What's
the alternates reserve.
Oh, so there is reserve riders that hang out then, or
I was an alternate
rider. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was last minute in, so I was third.
Were
on
you
the
already there?
list.
Type alternate? Like, how does the alternate work exactly?
She was an alternate for this year.
For
this year. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
For this year. So they have a cutoff, which was, what day is today? The 19th. I think the cutoff was like the 16th or 17th of September, because they want all the riders that are, if you're an alternate and you get in, they want you to build your whole line and have like that extra time basically to get down there.
That makes sense, because I was wondering, I was like, when you said alternate, is it like you just got to ride someone else's line and you're hanging out?
No, I'm pretty sure it used to be that way, but now it's
really
legit. Yeah,
that's scary. Hey, I'm gonna hit this one, just going.
Yeah, I was supposed to go and dig for Via, and I was on the alternate list, but then the list quickly got shifted with girls getting hurt, pulling out. So then all of a sudden I was sitting at first alternate, and I was still meant to dig for Via. And she's like, well, you might get in. Like, I might need to make backup plans. And in my head, I'm like, no, it'll be fine. Like, I'm just alternate. Don't worry about me. And like 1 week later, I get the call that I'm in.
That'd be so cool, though.
What does that feel like? What does that feel like to you? You pretty fired up and like jazzed?
Super fired up.
Like it's pretty cool opportunity. Now you got your diggers ready. You know who you're bringing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you have to get diggers.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a full switch up. I mean, that's the thing. Right away, by getting the call, it sucked because I knew that meant that one of the girls was hurt and wasn't going to be going. So the first feeling is like, oh, that sucks. Like, this is the first year for Women's Rampage. I feel horrible that they're not in. Then it's just like, oh my God, what is about to happen? Then there's all the logistics because I'm, at that point, 3 weeks out from going and booking accommodation in like Laverkin, Utah. It's kind of tough Rampage season. So
Holiday Inn Express special.
Yeah. There's a lot that goes along with it. Logistics, diggers. And then once I started figuring that out, all of a sudden it hit and I'm like, holy, like I'm in Rampage. It's crazy.
That's so cool though.
Mm-hmm.
So are they how are they sectioning off the sections then for the women? Are you guys just going to be crossing through where the men's pass are, or are they getting our whole area now?
We get our whole area. No. So we are, like one ridge over from the guys. So we're in the same vicinity, but there's basically like a boundary for the girls section, boundary for the guys section,
Oh,
and we're
that's
just
sick.
one ridgeline over. Yeah, and our zone is untouched.
Is it gonna end at the same spot, same finish line, or is it a different finish line?
No, they'll have different corrals.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
pretit rad.
So
Do you know
Yeah,
how
fully
they're gonna
perfect.
go about it with like production side of things? Is
Yeah.
I probably don't know the most legit information, but from what I understand, there's either going to be a delayed broadcast for the women's, we're on the 10th of October, or it's going to be put into the men's, which is on the 12th of October. So they're not going to do a fully live broadcast, but they will have a ton of coverage, and it'll, be one of those two.
And are they giving you that 11th day then, I guess, for a backup if wind or anything like that?
Exactly. Yep. So we have
Okay.
one weather day, and then the guys have one weather day after.
That's pretty rad.
I feel like it almost could be a good thing. I've always thought that Rampage on a weekday in the morning has been rough for people to watch. Always, I mean, obviously a lot of people tune into Rampage, but I've always wondered why they've run it midweek, when a lot of people might be at work or something and can't tune in, and maybe being a delayed coverage or a delayed stream or whatever might help, honestly, especially if other people are seeing it for the first time, although the pink bikes and the media coverage of the world probably get it out as soon as it's happening. But I don't know. Just thinking through things, but it's interesting.
Delayed broadcast is really great because that means if there is wind delays, there's less pressure on the riders to drop ASAP, which is great. I mean, they're still paying, because the broadcast, how it works is like they have the broadcast slot. So when the cameras are running, they need the riders to go, which sucks if it's windy. But if it's delayed broadcast, I assume that it's like a little bit less pressure. You can kind of wait for the right window, and then the broadcast window is when they're paying the money. I don't really know how that works, but I'm sure that's why they're not doing double broadcast, because that would be double the money. But not the worst either. For the first year, in my opinion, I'm like, it's already going to be so crazy and overwhelming with cameras, helicopters, the whole thing, that I'm not too mad about it not being fully live.
Yeah, because when did it start going live for the men's? Only like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, or is it?
Yeah, I don't know actually. No, it's been a long time, at least since 2014.
But it's been live?
I think so, yeah. Like on Red Bull, since Red Bull TV's been doing it, I'm pretty sure.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, for some reason I thought.
Yeah, because if there's a delay, then you're sitting there waiting.
Hey, it's a good time to run commercials, you know?
Yeah, a lot of commercials, a lot of chatting.
Yeah, a lot of chatting about this wind.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, that's pretty rad though. Like, I've been there. Have you been there, Spencer? Like in that zone and stuff, or no?
Not during the event. I've never been to the event exactly, but I've
You've been around in that zone, right?
In enduro there, and I've hit some of the like old stuff, but yeah, never.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that one. Didn't you jump over your truck or something that one time over in that one spot?
Well,
was that someone else?
That's but that's
that's near it though, right? Yeah. That dirt seems kind of hard to work with. I feel like at some moments, like, because it's kind of like moon dust and it just kind of spreads. But how is it when you work with it? Like, what was it like?
Depends on the zone, and you really, I think the first thing you have to look at is the terrain and use the terrain. You can't be like, oh, I want to build this here, because then you start working with the dirt and you realize like you're going to be spending your whole time on that feature fighting it. Especially if there's this one band that's like, it might be quartz, I'm not sure. It's the white rock that runs through it. And if you decide to build a landing or a takeoff where the white band of rock runs through, you're going to spend at least 4 days just chipping rock. And you're going to eat up all your time. So luckily, these are things that I know from digging there a few times, because this zone that we're in is kind of a rocky one. Like if you go back and look at Rampage runs from 2018 and 19. It's that same terrain. That's what the guys are going back to. And
Okay.
yeah, lots of rock to work with.
So, like, to back that up, then, do you build trails at home then, or what? Like, where's your experience of this dirt? You're a dirt farmer, it sounds like. So, give me a little experience on that.
Yeah, I mean, I've done my like
Nice.
trail work days and worked on jumps a little bit here and there, but no, I'm like, I would love to spend more time building, but my experience is basically these boot camps when I go to formation.
Because, like, where you live, there's not this type of dirt, right? I mean,
No.
it's obviously way different.
Yeah. It is funny, like I actually just went out and met up with Aggie and Lorne, and near Kamloops there's like a little free ride zone, and we were kind of scratching in lines, and I was like, oh yeah, like this is way more like Utah spec. Like you're scratching in lines and you're building these lips, but not really building a proper lip because you don't have water up there. For Rampage you do have water, but here it's like if you're building in prime digging season in the Pacific Northwest, it's like the dirt is so wet that you're mostly dealing with like excavating stumps and doing drainage and like packing lips that are already wet. But down there, it's like you need to add water, and then you can pretty much build whatever you want if there's like dirt and the right kind of ridge for it, really.
Welcome to the Southwest. Yeah.
Yeah, welcome to where we
How it
live.
goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just add water.
So, yeah,
Just
exactly.
add water.
So what are
Story
I
of
don't
my
even
life.
know if I can ask this or if you want to talk about this, but what are we building towards? Are we going to our strengths of speed, or are we ripping in some? Are we gonna how gnarly are you going?
Yeah,
You think
that's something that I haven't
race
even.
down the...
No, I mean, this is something that I thought about because the line that I did for formation, I shared fully with Vero, and it had a lot of slower speed. There was like some slow speed drops, but then there was some really fun slashy freeride bits, and it was awesome when we were practicing it and hitting it. And then when I went to do my formation run, we had the proper countdown. And it was like, Georgia, dropping 3, 2, 1. And as soon as they said go, basically, my mind went to race mode. And I seriously did race down my run. And I watched the footage and I was like, man, I didn't even slash. I wasn't even getting like that stylish. I just raced down. So there's a little bit of both. I'm not going to build. I want jumps and I would like some jibby stuff. I love raw slashy freeride, but I don't think I can really say anything until I see the zone in person.
Yeah.
And it's going to be collaborating with the other girls because it's a fully new zone. There's absolutely no way that unless you scratch down a line top to bottom straight down that you could have a line all on your own without sharing features. There's not enough time.
Yeah, for sure.
We only have like 750 subscribers, so if you really like are scared to tell the secret of these lines and your special line, you don't have to worry. No one will know. It's okay.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have 5 canyon gaps, and I'm gonna trick every single one of them.
Okay.
Sick.
See? Heard it first right here.
Can't wait to watch.
Don't
it.
anyone else copy
I'm
that.
just gonna
okay?
zigzag down the ridges by canyon gaps.
Wow.
Where's the dirt
sick.
road up for me to go down? That's
just a 5-minute run. You're losing 2 feet every couple hundred yards.
That's the only safest way down. Okay, let's just get that. That's how it works.
Austin would roll down on his.
I would walk down.
Yeah.
Maybe roll with my camera bag.
Yeah.
For sure.
It is crazy because day one when you're there, the exposure is so wild that you're nearly on your hands and knees, just like crawling up the ridges. And then by like the 4th day there after riding, you have your bike over your back. You're just like hands everywhere, slinging up at the top of the ridge, dropping in. It's wild how the exposure does get you. And then you kind of get comfy.
That's funny sorry, Spencer, but it's funny how you say that because like sometimes I go and film a Spencer and there's sections where I'm just trying to walk around. It is so gnarly. But by the end of the week or something, I'm like, fuck it. I'll just try to ride my bike down this at this point, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
how that mindset happens, right? Because it's weird. Sorry, that really I was like, that really felt.
No,
It
exposure
hit
to
home
the
there.
exposure. I think you get you get a little comfortable with it, and you're not as scared. Just it doesn't scare you as much because you're more familiar with the terrain and stuff. But well,
Totally.
that's cool.
Like,
I'm super excited.
It's gonna
I
be
feel
cool.
like there's a lot of good energy in going into this year, especially because the women get a chance to throw down, and I think it's pretty cool for just women's sports in general right now. There's a lot of really good momentum behind that, and man, I hope everybody shows up and supports and checks it out, and it can keep growing and keep going in the right way. I mean, we were talking, I forget who, Ray Morrison maybe, or Haley Batten, probably all of the women that we've had on here.
I think we've had more women than men on our podcast.
But we always end up talking about just the progression of women in sports in general, and it's pretty sick. Like, honestly, just watching, at least on Instagram, how you guys are like legitimately shredding, and the progression of even the whips that you guys are throwing and stuff. It's pretty sick, and I'm sure it's a pretty exciting thing for you to be a part of and be one of the forefront people that are pushing the sport forward along a lot of other badass women.
Yeah, that part is wild because definitely when I started in the bike park, it was like any girl who was shredding was like usually the token girl in a group of guys. And, you know, they could hang. They were shredding with the guys. They were keeping up. And now I pretty much only hang out and ride with groups of girls. And I get the same feeling. Yeah, it's so rad. And you look around the lineups and bike parks, or even when you're trail riding, and there's just so many more girls riding that it's just like normal. Whereas even 10 years ago when I started, there was the girls who were shredding and die hard, and then it wasn't quite as inviting. And then everything happened, you know, women specific bikes. I'm glad we grew out of that. And now it's just like you can go meet up with a crew of girls and everyone's just riding bikes.
Yeah. What do you think changed for you, or what, or just women in general? What do you think it was that made it more inviting to other girls out there?
I think maybe we did need that boom of women specific stuff, and then it just became like normal for girls to join. I think COVID was the biggest boom though, where just everyone got into bikes. People had more time off work, more spare time. I'd say there was just a huge boom of people in general getting into it then. And it's like, if your girlfriend's riding, then you're more likely to have a group of girls to go out after work. And I don't know, but there's definitely a boom of people in general riding bikes now.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's pretty sick. I was just up in Squamish with Casey and Michaela for a little Thule shoot. About a month ago or so. And we rode. We had one other rider, Elliot Milner, with us as well, and we rode the last day just all together. Went on a pretty big, decent trail ride in Squamish, and there was stuff that I was sitting at the top of. I'm like, holy shit, this is pardon my language, but this is pretty gnarly. And Casey and Michaela are just like, yeah, and I'm like, dude, you guys are gnarly. They just sent it down, and yeah, it's sick. It's honestly fun being a part of it, or being just around chicks that are shredding and not just being that like token girl or whatever. They're like showing you up, and it's fun. It's cool, and I hope to see the next progression as quickly as we saw this little jump in the mountain bike world.
And it will be, because now there's like 11-year-old girls that are shredding nearly as hard as all of us. And I'm like, you don't even have the body weight to carry yourself, and you're like tricking their merchant and learning tricks. So,
You
oh
guys
yeah,
are
it's
in a
gonna
weird.
be.
You're in weird. Whistler is weird because when you go there, there's like little groms that don't even fit the bike, and they're clearing everything. By the way, and you're like,
But for the
all right,
most
I'm just
part,
gonna
I
pack it
would
up, go
say,
home.
yeah, all these people, they're like families that have these shredder kids and they bring them to Whistler. So they definitely use Whistler as a playground, but a lot of them are from like Cali or the States. Like a lot of the kids that I've spoken to, their families like go there because obviously it's so easy for them to hit everything all at once. But I'd say it's just kids from everywhere. Even when I
Yeah.
was in New Zealand, in Queenstown, there's a boom. It's like anywhere that has access to a chairlift, because I think that is the easiest place for kids to just get laps on laps on laps. And they're little, they can't really pedal as well. But yeah, there's an epidemic of
Because
kids
you're
being
saying
shredders.
it's not what's in the water in Whistler where you're at. It's everywhere.
Yeah,
I
I don't know.
think
I think it's,
personally, go ahead, go ahead.
I don't know, you go. I didn't have much. I
I
was just going to defend myself.
Well, I think it's a little bit of both because I grew up like
Maybe.
watching and paying attention and trying to ride BMX bikes as the best as I can, like hitting dirt jumps and skate parks and stuff, and that was everything. And there was Woodward out east, which was the big thing. They had a TV show, Camp Woodward. Like you go, parents would spend a bunch of money, send you off to camp, and you'd just go with a handful of campers riding bikes, and everybody said Woodward changes lives, and the reason for that I think is because you're around all these other like-minded or like desired people that are riding bikes and pushing their limits and doing all that stuff and just getting those reps in, like you were saying. And I think Whistler
changes lives.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was kind of going to say. In some way or another, there's not that many locations around the world that have that dense of variety in trail networks. And I think that offers a lot of progression to be continually had. I mean, there's great riding here in Los Angeles where Austin and I live, but there isn't that much versatility in the trails. One, we have like 2 jump trails in the entire county, which kind of sucks. And then 2, there's no chairs, there's no lifts
climb.
that you're
Yeah.
earning your turn. And then look around to other great trail networks. Bellingham comes to mind. Great, no lift access, so you're either e-biking or cranking. And yeah, there's obviously plenty other great locations, but the parts with that dense trail network that can bring different riders of different levels into a bit of a pucker fest, I think that pays dividends throughout. So,
Definitely. I think it is. I think it is the concentration of, but that's what I'm saying is that it's like the people who have the money, time, whatever it is, that can take their kids to Whistler. There's like families that I see that are here all summer, and they like, it's like their kids are in Whistler camp. Just they can spend the time and they're here forever. Or then the Whistler kids that live here that are after school and ripping bike park laps after school, which is also ridiculous. That's pretty cool.
Seriously.
Man, that would be, if I could be a kid again and just do that, that would be pretty sick.
Yeah.
A lot more broken bones.
I probably you learn from the DaVinci
to
factory team.
Yeah,
say
true.
What you're saying.
Maybe. Well, I think when you're a kid and you crash, you break a lot less bones. You learn how to crash better than when you learn these things older.
It didn't work that way for me in moto, but I mean, I like where you're going with that. Yeah. Question. So then I guess, is Whistler just your favorite place to ride or no?
Yeah, the whole Sea to Sky corridor. My favorite place to ride ever is Pemberton, which is actually not too far from my house. Like it's 15 minutes from where I live in Whistler, but their window is limited because Pemberton in the spring, fall, sometimes if you catch a window in the winter, is honestly the best trail riding ever. With a little bit of moisture in the dirt. It's kind of like more deserty. And then
really,
I love the bike park, obviously, but now this is my 10th year in the bike park, so I'm like cruisy. Like today I did like 3 or 4 laps, and that's like a good day for me. I don't session like 8 laps every day anymore.
Oh,
Must
really?
be nice.
I mean,
Yeah.
we say that, but like, I don't. I would get. When I do Crankworx there, I get kind of bored of the place. I'm like, all right, how many more times can I ride this? You know, like
Mm.
you
It's
have to
special.
venture
It's
out,
really
right? And
special this time of the year though, when it's quiet, and then the people that are
I
riding,
bet.
like my favorite thing to do, like today I did this. I just rock up to the park alone. And I have no plans. I have like a 3-hour window, and I'll do like 1 or 2 solo laps, and then you just always catch people, and you always like, you're at the bottom, you have a conversation with someone, you're like, oh, what are you gonna ride? You just like go and hang out. That's my favorite thing to do, and I think I
Yeah,
would
that's sick.
suck at making friends if I didn't live in Whistler, because I'm just like, I'll just make friends when I get there.
you just described Crankworx for me.
That's
Yeah, no
Crankworx.
plans.
Yeah.
It is.
I
Yeah,
do not
yeah, that's
go
crazy.
underground or go drinking unless it's Crankworx, because my favorite thing also is to be underground and be like, oh my God, like everywhere you look, it's people you know. I love that.
Oh, what do they say? Like, don't go underground before midnight, or is it after, or what is it? I can't remember.
Mm, I
There's
don't
like a
know. Both
certain
are like
time.
a bad option, but either way,
Yeah,
you'll
you're
end up
right. They
there.
are. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
And
10
probably
days. You
have
gotta fucking try one of them, right?
Yeah, I tried
good
all of
fun
them this
regardless.
year.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Wow.
Yeah. I
Kudos to
had
you.
my events were stacked up, so I had the first half was like go time, and then I had the rest of it off. So I did like, normally it's a balance of
So then
social
you went into
racing.
go time.
Yeah, I was go time, and then I was like full
Go time.
revs go time. It was sweet. It was great.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick.
There's nothing like Crankworx at Whistler. There, honestly,
No,
like, it's insane. For that many
it's
days in a row,
literally
like,
my
I've been to
favorite.
things, yeah, that are kind of like in a short stint of that, maybe like a weekend, but 10 days of it where you're just, it's glorious. It's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. Yeah, Spencer loves it too. He has great times there. I've seen him.
I haven't been in a couple of years, honestly.
Yeah, it has been a few years.
Really? You
Remember
didn't
that
come this
year
year?
when? Yeah, he's
I
too
did
cool.
not.
Yeah.
No, I
You're
just
above Crankworx.
Yeah.
I wish
He-
I was there. I wish.
California guys, what do you expect?
No,
You know?
just need people to pay my way.
Spencer.
It's expensive.
Yeah,
I have
that's
a
true.
few more questions, and then we can let you go because I know we're about at an hour now. One, just a quick one. You said you moved to Australia. Why? What brought you to Australia?
Yeah, from
Oh
Whistler.
boy.
Oh, all right.
Okay, never
All
mind.
right.
No,
And-
actually, a cooler backstory than that is that my parents,
Yeah.
they're both Canadian,
Yep.
but they actually met each other in Australia. And so
Oh.
I have an Australian passport. So I was really excited. I got my Australian passport because I had a citizenship. Got my Australian passport, met an Australian boyfriend, and was like, yeah, like I want to go to Australia. I've always wanted to go. So went down there, and it was amazing, but I wish that I had just gone to New Zealand instead.
Yeah. Oh, well,
I think
live and
those
you
are
learn.
fighting words for some of those people, you know. I know they got a
No,
little,
I
little
love
fight going on.
Australia is amazing, but in this current phase where I'm in, where I love mountains and
Yeah.
I love beaches too, but I just wanted mountains, and I still just want mountains. And
Yeah.
New Zealand is like the Canadian BC version of Australia. So
Yeah, that's what I hear.
New Zealand gave me a little bit better mountain opportunities than Australia. So I actually did the past 2 summers in New Zealand and could use my
Awesome.
Australian passport down there too. So it was still worth it.
Wow, multi-pass lady over here. Just,
Yeah.
wow.
The year we met was COVID year. No, New Zealand. Crankworx.
Yeah,
down
was
there,
that 2020? Yeah, like
It had
right
to have been.
before shit hit the fan.
Yeah, that was crazy. I'll never forget. I had an Airbnb with Annika Beerton, and we like rented this family's back house from them, and we were like talking to the people that lived in the front house, and they came out one morning and were like, "Oh, what's going on? Taking all the everyone back home are taking all the toilet roll. And I'm like, what? I hadn't really talked to my parents or what was going on. Everyone just was buying toilet paper.
I do
in the
remember that. That
States,
was the
like,
first thing. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? I call my parents and they're like, yeah, I don't know. You should probably get home if you can. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's all good. And we hung out there for another week or so and then had to take a background check in order to get back into the States. And you're like, this is crazy. But that was fun.
Yeah.
That was great. Rotorua 2020. Wow, that's crazy.
So then did you
And I
stay
remember-
there longer or did you come
No,
out?
because I had done 3 weeks in New Zealand, and then that was the tail end of my trip. So I pretty much went home right away, and then got home, did like a day skiing in the resort, and then I remember the next day they shut the resort, which is crazy because like Whistler has never, shut early.
Shut down.
Wild. And
Yeah,
so, I
like,
mean,
it's real.
what was it like living in Whistler with it shut down? Where did you ride? Could you, I guess, go down to Squamish? We rode stuff there. Like, what were you?
I had probably the best spring of my life because the
Me
spot
too.
where I lived, like in Whistler, and this was where it got a little bit weird because that was before anyone really knew what was going on. And because Pemberton, Squamish, Whistler, they're all fairly small, there was this whole thing about not getting hurt and not stealing, like, and not having to
resources, right?
use
Yeah.
the ventilators was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if like I would go pedaling it, I actually had a really thick spring. I would go ski touring with my best friend and our dogs. We would be out there for like hours and hours, and then we'd get back. It's spring, so there's still daylight, and then we'd go for a sick mountain bike ride in Pemby, and you'd be out there, and people would be like, "Oh, like, what are you doing? Like, do you live here?" And we're like, "We live in Whistler," and there was this animosity, even though I'm 15 minutes away. They're like,
We
Whistler people are coming to ride. Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Those damn
Yeah.
Whistler people.
And I don't know about you up there. It was probably the opposite that it was here, but we had like the wettest spring ever. So down here, I was just riding dirt bikes and mountain bikes, and the dirt was insane that
It was
spring.
really good.
And all
We
my
got
friends were
dumped
home.
on with snow.
Okay.
We had,
Really?
this is crazy, and I might get arrested for this, but I'm going to tell you anyways.
Yes.
I
We need to
lived
hear
in
it.
a really cool old cabin that was like at the base of Whistler Mountain. So I had complete access to the mountain on my dirt bike and ski touring
Sick.
and all this stuff. And it snowed like 30 or 40 centimeters. So like, what is that? Like a foot and a half, 2 feet or something.
Yeah.
A lot of snow
Sure.
after the resort had closed. So my friend and I skied, and a few other people, like there was other people up there. We ski toured up to the peak.
Wasn't just them. So if
And-
you're coming to get them, it wasn't just
Yeah,
them.
it was other people too. And
That's what I always say too.
not just me. But we had
Yeah.
fresh tracks down like the main ski run. We had our dogs with us. Like, and the mountain is closed. It was like a private resort day. Skied to the house. And
Wow.
yeah. So that was my COVID. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not really a winter sport person, but I feel like it was probably great, you know. But
And that's when I started dirt biking. I got a
okay,
dirt bike during
Yeah.
COVID. Yeah.
okay, yeah. I see your Team
Alright.
Husky over here.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, 250. I see you got upgraded it there for that dual sport. Got the headlight. You're ready to go.
No, I had 252 stroke.
Yeah. Are you taking that to Rampage? Burning a
No,
few
I
lines
thought
real
about
quick.
it. I thought about it, but actually my 2 diggers are bringing their dirt bikes. So I'm just going to bring my boots, and then maybe I'll just like have a little rip, or like we'll use that to get into the site. But
Yeah.
my truck is going to be very loaded. I'm bringing all of my appliances, like espresso machine,
What?
blender, all this stuff, all these tools
Washer,
as well.
dryer.
Hold on. Yeah. What
Yeah.
size espresso machine needs a
dishwasher.
truck? I'm a little confused here. What's this
Yeah,
thing?
well, yeah, there's a few
She
more
must.
appliances on the list. I mean, business
She
down
makes
there.
some coffee, seriously.
Yeah, seriously. Like I was gonna go with there's too many shovels to fit the moto, but I was okay. I mean,
Well,
coffee seems to be very important to you.
yeah, no, the espresso machine is a must.
Sick.
Okay. You weren't looking for the Airbnb with an espresso machine, or just Americans don't do it right?
Well, I don't think you can get Airbnb with an espresso machine. Like maybe you would have a pod machine, but no, that's not
Good enough.
the one. Not good enough.
She needs a legit one. All right.
Yeah.
all right.
Okay. There's probably a Starbucks,
No,
No, I feel
not
like
not in Virgin.
I know there isn't one. I know it is rough there every time. Yeah.
Is there not
Yeah.
even? I mean, not. There's got to be something kind of cool in down.
There's
Virgin.
good coffee, but
There.
here's the thing: we go to the site
Yeah.
for dig days. We're waking up
Yeah.
at 5:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
and
Nothing's
we're
open
gonna
down
be
there at that time.
no, nothing's open. So yes, I'm fine with drip coffee, and I make AeroPress coffee all the time. But I got a bean hookup.
Let's make that clear.
So yeah, I got the bean hookup. So I need the whole machine to go with these beans that I have to bring down. I have like a 5-pound bag of espresso beans for my team and I.
You want to plug the
Holy
sponsor?
Yeah. Holy moly.
Gradient Coffee, Prism Espresso.
Let's go.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Did I love it? Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Wow, you are a
Yeah.
coffee snob. I can hear it. I struck a chord there. Like, no, Starbucks.
I mean,
and
I
then
did
now
tell
this.
you that I worked at a cafe for 7 years. So
Yeah.
She
I mean,
knows.
but the
It's in me.
cafe might have just been bad coffee, but good sandwiches, That's how they are down here sometimes.
opposite.
So, opposite.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At Lyft.
Yeah, wow.
I feel
Yeah.
like I feel like I can agree with that too.
Really?
Like they
You're a
say
coffee
those-
guy?
No,
I
no,
don't even-
well, no,
I
I'm
don't
saying
drink any
Lyft,
coffee,
Lyft,
so-
Lyft has good coffee, not the greatest food items.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
We just lose the old.
Did we just
Died.
lose her? Says recording will continue on. Oh, she's back.
I think my
With
headset
echo.
died.
With the echo. And I can't do anything because we're recording. I love it. Uh-oh.
Wah wah.
Can you hear the echo at all?
No.
Oh, lovely. Well, we got a pretty bad echo.
Well,
Can you do echo cancellation for her?
No.
I can't do it when you're recording. So
Can she?
she
No,
might
I
be.
can't.
She will have to quit and rejoin.
Does that affect our recording?
I don't know. I just work here, man. I don't know.
Wow, this is honestly very hard.
So she can't. Can you not hear us in your headphones?
No, I can hear you when I'm talking though.
But it's over the computer, correct?
Over the computer.
This is crazy, honestly.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Exit and come back with the same link. It'll still be recording.
All right. Okay, maybe I can get new
We're good.
headphones.
Oh, it's your headphones run out of battery?
Yeah, they died.
Okay. Maybe get some new headphones. All right. Well, that's great. As you can see here, we are the most technically advanced podcast on this earth that rides on two wheels that doesn't have motors. And yeah,
We can wrap it up soon, anyways.
we could for sure. But I mean, we should at least give her a good exit,
Yeah, absolutely.
And she can plug a few more of her coffee bean sponsors because I feel like she's deep in the coffee.
Yeah.
But are
for
you
sure.
deep in the coffee too?
I like coffee. I'm not a super nerd, but I definitely know good coffee from bad coffee, and I know that Starbucks is pretty much a last resort as much as I can. It's
I
not,
hear that
not,
from people too.
not good. I mean, they it's literally a known fact that they burn their coffee on purpose to have a very consistent flavor.
Really? I didn't know
for
this.
Sure. Yeah, their coffee's always piping hot, which I hate. Piping hot coffee.
No, you can select to have it not that hot.
Dude, but trust me, they're
I'm sorry, I don't drink coffee, but I drink their other stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, they're passion fruit teas or whatever the heck.
Hey, matcha
guava.
matcha tea. Don't come at me like that.
There we are. Oh, look, she's back.
There we go.
Hey.
I love the name.
Oh yeah.
She's a P5J6WBMGR5 girl. It's like we're on a video game.
I was in a rush.
Perfect.
It's
No,
great. It's crazy. The audio has changed though too.
well, I'm
You know
thinking
what?
she's. Are you on your phone or something?
No, I'm back on the app.
No.
We're gonna get this figured out. But all right. So we were deep in your coffee experience and level So would you say like a 1 out of 10? How high are you? Like you're just a 10 out of 10 coffee person. Like if it's bad, you're not drinking it. Like if it's like an 8, like what coffee level are we here?
I think there's way snobbier than I am. Like I have a Breville machine. I don't have like a super nice machine, but I like I know what I like, and I can tell by walking into a cafe if it's going to be good or not.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that was better than Spencer's answer a second ago. He was talking about like I know good coffee from bad coffee, but you know it when you walk in the door. That's pretty gnarly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the
Coffee connoisseur.
decor is big actually. It lets you
I
in
love it.
to the cafe.
Yeah,
I love this.
it's an
This is-
experience.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. For you guys, do you ever try water? It also tastes
Yeah.
great. Get you going in the morning.
Plenty of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
water
the
before
morning.
coffee. Water
Yeah.
before coffee.
Always.
Okay. Yeah.
Wake up.
I can
nice
get with that.
16 ounces of water. Come on.
All right. 16 ounces of water. Beautiful.
Seriously, that's what I do every morning.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Spencer's also this. He runs out and jumps into his pool. It's cold. Are you an ice bath person as well?
I don't identify as an ice bath person, but like I can do it. I wouldn't do it and post about it though, which means that I never do it, I
Ooh.
guess.
Shoot. Guilty. I have a sauna and I post about my sauna.
Yeah.
I feel like
I feel like
that was a little jab, but it's all right.
saunas and ice bath, it's kind of a thing where you have to post about it if you do it, is what I've realized.
100%. 100%.
I mean, does it even count if you don't Strava?
I don't Strava. I don't touch Strava.
Okay. Well, and you obviously don't touch ice baths or saunas as well. So
No, I actually do love an ice bath or sauna, but I wouldn't Strava it.
are you snobby about your ice baths like Spencer over here? He's got the pool set to the right temperature.
Just the right amount of cubes is there.
I just
That's
like
right.
it. I like the way it makes me feel, and it's I don't know.
Yeah.
I definitely
I have
post
actually
about the sauna.
I have a hot tub, and we just got it running again. And then I do hot tub, and then I'll just do cold shower. So that's my budget version.
Yeah, you should start posting about it.
Yeah.
Too soon, Spencer. Too soon.
I post about the old sauna. I'm gonna defend myself a second because I got it for free, and I need to plug the company.
Do
Yeah,
it.
plug the company, Spencer. Let's get you some more sponsors.
Yeah,
I
what's
do
your
on
sauna? Do you have an
Instagram,
infrared or what's your sauna?
I have a steam sauna,
Cool.
a little single person. It's super nice actually. I mean, I love it, and it makes me sleep really really well. I'm probably gonna go do it right after this. But
Lovely.
Looking
post
forward to
about
the
it tonight,
Instagram
don't
story.
worry. Nope.
Spencer can't afford to lose any more sponsors. So like we gotta keep he hit 50K finally on Instagram, so it's just a whole new world for him.
You're an idiot.
He's been so
Stop.
different. I have a hard time even talking to him on the phone now. It's way different guy.
You're
Get
such an
Spencer to
idiot.
Crankworx.
You're such an idiot.
We're gonna start a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
I'm fucking in for this. I love it.
Okay, next subject. Thank
All
you.
right. See, Spencer he's starting to blush now. We're getting in good now.
Yeah, because you're an idiot,
Perfect.
man.
Oh man.
Let's just go
Perfect.
film some
Stop
cool
it.
stuff.
Who's
Okay,
gonna be the big brother to you?
The
you know?
question that I was seriously gonna ask you, you talked about adventure riding. You like adventure riding a bit?
Do.
What led us into that room? What are you talking about? Adventure riding, adventure motor riding, or like adventure mountain bike riding?
Mountain biking. I mean,
And what does
yeah.
that what does that mean to you? Because this is
Yeah, is it like 120 suspension? What are we talking here?
I love like adventure style riding in my mind. Like, have you been to Tayax?
Yes, a lot.
It's like one of my favorite trips I've ever done has been up to Tayax.
Yeah.
And I just love that type of riding, that like super back country, no real agenda, just like crank out your miles and have fun and be in like insanely beautiful places,
Yeah.
remote
Yeah.
places.
And that holds a very special part in my heart because my best friend growing up, her family like owned Crankworx Adventures. So actually like before I even started racing, we
Bobby?
would go as kids. Yeah. Bobby and I grew up together.
Sick. I did not know that, but yeah,
Yeah.
I know them.
Yeah. So but it's been quite hard because it's such an opposite pace and training wise when I was racing. So as soon as I was racing, I started going on these kind of trips less. And then now, like, I was meant to have a Chilcotin's trip. I think I was meant to leave tomorrow, and then I got into Rampage, so I had to cancel it. And I find that it's one of those things.
I'll take your spot. I'll take
Yeah,
your
you can
spot.
take my spot. It's with the outdoor research crew, actually. So,
Oh shoot! Well,
damn,
can't
you're
take
out.
the spot.
Yeah, but the trips that I've been going on recently are like filming backcountry trips, and I think that it's kind of this cool balance for me of learning how to produce a trip and make these trips happen while also balancing like you're way out in the middle of nowhere. You don't know the terrain. Like I've been to the Chilcotins lots. Like I know what to expect. Bring my bear spray, know what to pack. But I just went on one in Indonesia and we were up a volcano and I had no idea what to expect. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. I'm planning another one. Yeah.
Yeah, where do you want to go? What are some places that you really just kind of want to see via bike?
The next one, I'm gonna go to Chile with Kenny Smith and Margus Riga. And yeah, we're gonna go to like the very southern point of Chile and do this really cool expedition. And like, I'm gonna butcher it, but I think it's like Island Noveri or something. But basically, like the most southern point of Chile that you can get to. And it's not super high altitude or anything, but yeah, it'll be like really rugged, mountainy, kind of Chilcotin-y looking sandy scapes.
Wow.
So point to point riding, like
man.
A to B.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome.
I'm into taking nice showers at the end of a hard work ride. So that adventure riding, my adventure riding has to fit into a 6 hours and then back to
there's no
public for my coffee
or espresso machines on these trips. So yeah, Spencer and I are really giving up a lot to go on trips like this, but balance.
I could see it.
Yeah, but they're soul building. I don't know. I feel like
they're soul building.
Yeah, 100%. It's so humbling and cool being out in like locations like that where you're just the only people around for miles and just fully immersed in the environment with no agenda, with nothing. Like obviously there's a bit of an agenda, but for me at least, I don't know. It feels the most natural. There's no, I got 2 hours to do a ride. Let's see what I can do in 2 hours or something. It's like, all right, this is where we're going. Over that mountain, let's get there via this trail. I think the map shows a trail up here or whatever, and kind of just do it. I think that's so cool, man.
Yeah.
And you run into these crazy... Go ahead.
I was going to say it's been wild because these past few trips I've been on, they're places where bikes have never been. So I find it so special being in the backcountry and you are on these trails. And then I've just been on this whole other level of it being like, there actually aren't trails and we're on like a farm animal track that goes over a mountain pass that might not be rideable on the other side. And then adds this whole other element of like, you're probably doing a lot more hike and bike than you are anything else, but it's so special just being out there with a crew of people.
Yeah.
With your bikes.
Huh. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a little jealous. I want to go to Chile now too. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I want to go. Yeah, there's so much I want to see. A friend of mine did a trip up in like just below Mount Everest a couple years ago, and it looked absolutely insane. He did a big multi-day trekking trip on like a pretty small suspension 130 140 bike and stayed in villages and had a light pack on him and just kind of found his way, and it looked absolutely insane. So you're seeing different parts of the world that not a lot of people see, and that's so special in its own, right?
Really special.
Yeah, I got Google Earth, and I really like my mattress. My pillow doesn't seem to fit onto my. Yeah, I can't do it. If there's a Holiday Inn Express and someone's taking my bike to the spot, we
That'd
can
be
work out
pretty.
logistics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would eventually like to get into moto, like long format trips. And I think that would be really cool because then it's just a whole other realm. You're like covering so much more distance. You pack differently, but I think it's equally as fulfilling and cool.
Yeah.
You gotta figure out how to work on your bike in shitty countries that don't have parts for it. And you're out there just like, how do I chain this thing back on? Yeah, I've done a few little adventure moto rides in myself, and I regret every one of them. So, yeah.
You're such a salty old man.
I am. I'm just this old guy. Leave me alone. Let me ride when I want to ride, okay?
Definitely.
I'm going to Crankworx because they got a pillow and a mattress every night. So, and they got this fresh pressed coffee that you guys need. So I think we'll meet in the middle there,
Yeah, there's comfort, and then there's, you know what? My phrase lately is Freeride doesn't care about your comfort. That's been my Rampage training mode.
That's pretty core. That's pretty hard right there.
Pretty core.
Yeah.
It's like, and I've been using this, like, there's like a really cold lake that we're going to jump in on the drive to Kamloops or something. And we're like, I don't want to get in. And then we both yell at each other. We're like, Freeride doesn't care about comfort. You jump in the lake. Or like a new jump that you don't want to hit. Just like everything. That's been the motto recently. So it applies for everything in life.
And the fact that you have to say that with throwing up the horns means something special too. That's
ride the wave, baby. Ride the wave.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh man.
All right. One question though before we go any deeper. Please tell me you did not close Chrome and you still have it open.
Yeah, I still have Chrome open.
Okay, good, because it's uploading. If it's not, then we're just down the drain.
No. Chrome's still there.
We're gonna make it.
That's why I didn't really want to disturb. I didn't want to disturb Chrome. That's why I went on the application because I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Quick thinking. I like that. That's
her name adjusted too.
I know. I typed it in.
Oh,
nice.
Yep. That's all right. It was better than G5 6 7195M.
So glad.
I don't know.
Damn, dude, just coming off right now. Getting those little brother angry vibes right now. I feel it. All right, Georgia. Do you have any other good ones, Spencer? I don't wait.
No,
I was loving the soul bonding you guys are having, going to another country with no hot water.
I'm inspired and motivated. I want to go. I'm gonna go on some trips.
I see those like Matt Hunter videos and them going into just middle of nowhere and doing that and like cooking a pizza in the middle of nowhere, and it just doesn't excite me. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I get it.
You're not invited.
I
get it.
Yeah, I'll come in on the heli.
You don't get it.
I'm going to get the heli in and out each night. I'll ride with you guys. And I like that soul bonding trip, okay?
That is another, there's so many different forms of it. But ultimately, what we want is we want to be in the middle of nowhere with some friends and our bikes. And it's like very special if you get yourself there. It's really cool if you get a heli. Or it's like just being there, It's all the same.
That's right. Yeah, I don't have the place to plug in my e-bike when we're out there, so yeah. I'm nervous. Do you think one of you guys could carry the generator, or yeah, Spencer's a strong young man. He could do it.
Yeah, we'll carry your battery, your extra battery for you.
That's good. That's right. Oh, wow. Just let me know when the heli comes in and at night, and I'll just do that. Any other good ones, Spencer?
That's what I got.
That's what you got?
Yeah, we've taken plenty of Georgia's
time.
Seriously,
we have pushed over your hour time. I appreciate it for sure.
No worries. I just gave you guys some technical difficulties, so I think I owe you over an hour.
Yeah, but you crushed it on the execution of coming back in and working. I mean, I don't know. It's really weird on our side, but I'm praying right now that it is uploading properly. We're going to make it through this one, and yeah.
Yeah. The audio is great, but your faces are weird.
Yeah, it's all right. Spencer hears that a lot, so
it's the same. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys
Hopefully
normally
enough
look like
close.
this, but you're looking weird.
Keep going. Keep going. It's okay.
Get that a lot.
Spencer's
E-bike
face
guys,
got
what do you
really
expect?
red there for a bit. Not sure if it was pixels or real, but
Yeah,
All of the
he's
above.
blushing. I'm laughing. So,
We'll
yeah,
use that as the excuse.
Yeah.
It's pixels.
we really appreciate your time and coming on, Georgia. It's been rad and definitely taught us some stuff that I never even knew. And yeah, I mean, it's cool to meet one of Spencer's old teammates, and it's great.
we overlapped. I took his
Never.
spot actually.
Damn. Okay, you
Hey,
are
rightfully
welcome
so.
anytime back on. Yes, thank you. I love it.
But yeah, thanks. In all seriousness, I'm moving on from that remark, and I'm gonna say, yeah, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you. We're gonna be cheering you on for Rampage here, and it's a month now, right? And then you'll have to come back on when you shred. After you
Yeah.
shred,
I'd love to.
tell us.
The
Yeah,
How
tell
it
us about
was.
that jump in that lake that
post-page
you're about to
feel.
do, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then tell us, like, maybe take a photo of how you're going to strap this espresso machine down so it doesn't get ruined on the dirt road or the washboard out there and all that type of stuff, you know?
Say that again.
No worries. She got lagged out because I clicked the button to start the upload. Of course, this is what happens to me. I was saying, keep the espresso machine safe, okay?
I was gonna say, well, okay. Also, side note, I'm driving my truck down, and I have had to do so much maintenance to my truck, just knowing that I have to drive down the washboard road to get to the site every day. So that is a factor.
See?
Yeah.
That was pretty much my question.
Yeah.
We need a picture of how you're securing the espresso machine on this.
The espresso
very long
machine is
adventure.
gonna stay in the Airbnb, but
Okay.
the truck is gonna be very loaded on the I-5. So actually, not on the I-5. I guess I'm through Montana and Boise, somewhere else. But yeah, it's gonna be on a journey and then firmly planted at the Airbnb for me.
Soul bonding.
Yeah, that's right.
I love it. Perfect. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Spencer, for hooking us up with her to get on the podcast, and thank you for taking your time to hang out with us.
Yeah, no worries.
Right
Cool.
on. Well, we'll be in touch, and good luck. We'll be cheering you
Yeah.
on. Have fun.
Thanks,
Send
Be
guys.
it.
safe. And yeah, crush it. Thanks for coming.
Oh yeah, don't close the browser.
I can close.
No, don't close it. Don't.
You can
And keep
leave.
the app open as well. I appreciate it.
So how do I
Thank you.
leave?
Well, I love it. I'll just click the remove. You'll be good.
All right, I'm not touching it.
Thank you. All right. Later. Oh, maybe I'll kick Spencer out. Ah, dang it. I didn't kick Spencer out.
You should have.
Oh, I know. Man, I didn't know you were into that. Just no showering life and just living the hippie stuff.
It's
you
not.
know?
It's not even so much the no showering part of riding as it is just the places that you're going and the experiences that you're going through and stuff, and especially when you're with cool people, dude. It's I don't know. There's being in a place that not a lot of people see, and with people that you like really enjoy being around is just, I don't know, something super cool. And something even you can even get that. I even get slightly that feeling in like the backcountry of Los Angeles, that even though that's kind of a
When you're
crazy
riding
thing to
Simi
say.
Valley with me. Yeah.
Not so much Simi,
Yeah.
but like north of the San Gabriel's or something, or just being away at some historic landmark that you're sitting overlooking Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles, and you're the only person up here 5,000 feet above everyone else, and just like looking down thinking that there's 4 million people, however many million people are in Los Angeles. And
I think there's like more than that, but okay.
Whatever, yeah, I don't.
I get what you're
know.
saying, though. I mean, yeah,
And-
there
and-
is.
And
Yeah.
I'm the only one that's up there, or the percentage of people that even know that exists is so slim. There's just all these people that are unfortunately stuck in their homes in ways that don't even think to look up and experience pretty epic.
And then
thing,
some chick
so.
walks by in yoga pants and is like, "Hey, do you
There
know where I
ain't
can
no
plug my
yoga
phone
pants.
in?
Yeah.
My phone's dead. How do I get out of here? The bus left me."
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. I do. I
don't love not showering for a couple days, but I'll deal with it to get to insanely sick places.
Yeah,
Like,
I know we've always had this discussion about like, I'm a toilet paper guy and you can just you can free shit in places.
Okay.
And
We're not
you're a
going
free shitter.
We're not going into this.
And I can't do that. So like being out there, and unless there's like an extra backpack with toilet paper, I'm out.
All right, we're gonna
We're gonna go on to the Rampage conversation.
Now I'm getting fucking red on that one.
Yeah. You almost spit your water out. I loved it. Dude, that was pretty rad. Like, wild to go that direction. I feel like maybe some of the I don't know. I don't know as many freeriders, but I guess I kind of do. But like, I feel like when I go and think about some of the freeriders, they don't really have like that EWS background, like maybe even little XC background you can call with her to come into that. Like most freeriders are just like born BMXers or freeriders, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think there's a good split, but yeah, I mean the like we were saying earlier, the progression of new badass women that are coming in and shredding like Georgia is, it's cool. It's super sick. And honestly,
I mean, what else
do
they have left to conquer now? So you've done Rampage, they do XC, they do.
Yeah, I mean they're even doing Joyride and stuff. They haven't done. I don't think they did Joyride yet. But
I think they did.
They did. Yeah, they did. They did
because they ran when the men decided not to do it, right?
Well, that wasn't Joyride, but yeah, that was the New Zealand one. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I got to get my facts straight before I say all this stuff. But yeah, they're crushing it, and it's insane. So now that just strength in numbers, right? Get more and more chicks that are doing exactly what they're doing and keep pushing. I was further.
Not okay. I was recently looking at like different numbers of like, okay, so the demographic and cycling, and we go back 10 years ago, it was like maybe like a 5 to 10% ish of women doing it, and now it's like a pretty strong 20.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad.
That number's gonna keep growing, as like Georgia's saying, she's riding with all chicks and shredding with all chicks, and yeah, that's just gonna keep going. Keep
sending.
Yeah,
that's cool. Thanks for getting that lined up. Spencer finally got a guest to actually come on that he's lined up. It's an ongoing joke with us. He always lines one up, never ends up showing up. So we're getting there, right?
I got a few more though, but we're working.
We're working on it. It's kind of my job to do that, so I get it. Like no pressure on you.
No, we gotta get this.
We're just glad we got the screen from it being flipped, and we're both looking at opposite the screen situation.
I'm still flipped.
Yeah, like I said, we are the most technically advanced cycling podcast on the planet, and we're gonna get through this.
We are the number one mountain bike podcast
that no one listens to. Thank you.
It has no technical sound.
I am happy to report though, we are up crossing all platforms about like 750, which is like, if you think about it,
it's pretty cool.
We're like 8 months into this. Pretty wild.
Yeah.
40. Yeah, boys and girls, I appreciate everyone for listening. Make for sure that you follow us on Instagram. It's Insider MTB. And then we're on Apple Podcasts. We're on, oh my gosh, I just blanked, Spotify and YouTube. You can watch those both. But if you want to listen, just Apple. And thank you, everyone. We are looking for information on Norba stuff. So if you got info on that shit, hit us with it. DM, some way, get in contact.
Yeah, DM us on Insider MTB on Instagram. Yeah. That would be the best way to get us. But yeah, like Austin said, we're trying to gather a little bit of a report on what happened with Norba, how Norba was in its heyday, and why it was so great, and then why it failed. So we're doing our research, but if you got anything and you're listening at this point,
you raced it, you were a part of working on it, any of that type of stuff, we kind of know the heavy hitters, and we're working on the full story now. And I don't know if it's one podcast, multiple podcasts, but we would like to bring that story to all the older people that seem to know about it, and we're just younger and we just hear about it. Every person we see that has raced says, "Oh man, remember the Normas." So, yeah,
sick. Right
sick.
on. There
sick,
we go.
Sick.
Let's go. Thank you guys.
What's up?
Later.